What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to this video. Today I'm going to be looking over lambda expressions in Python. Now, if you're not familiar with what a lambda expression is, it's essentially a anonymous function in the Python programming language. If you haven't have an understanding of anonymous functions, I'll go through them right now. Basically, all functions are usually defined within Python, right? So we have the define and then the function, right? So we can call this function anything like addition, right? And then we can add two numbers together, num, a second number, right? And then we return num plus, num plus second, all right? So if we were to basically print the results of that, and we wanted to add 1 and 2, and go into our terminal, we will get 3. So lambda expressions basically allow you to not need to define the names of these functions because they're basically only going to be used once. Maybe depending on the way you use lambda expressions, right? That's what they call anonymous functions. They don't actually need to have a name. So let's say I want to use a lambda expression here. I'll tell you the syntax for lambda expressions. That would be that would be the variable name is equal to lambda, right? That's the lambda keyword, okay? And we have the arguments and then the return value, okay? So the variable name is essentially going to be what we're assigning our lambda expression to. Now, we don't actually have to assign it to a variable name. We can even have it as a return value, as an argument, whatever you'd like, right? And the point is it's anonymous, so you don't have to define the function, the name of the function. The lambda keyword is what actually gets us the syntax that we need. So lambda and then arguments separated by a colon, and then our return value based on those arguments. So now let's say we want to do the same addition function in lambda, right? We create a new variable. Actually, I have to comment this out, otherwise we're going to get an error. We're going to create a variable called addition, and it's going to be equal to lambda. Our arguments are going to be num and second, like I said, separate with a colon. And then we're going to return num plus second. Awesome, no errors so far. And let's run our function. Then we get 3, same sort of situation, okay? And you may be asking, we've just turned 2 lines into 1 line. Who cares, right? And it still has a name in the end, right? We are still assigning it to the variable addition, and we haven't changed the syntax that we use. So why would we use that? And like I was saying, you could use it in parameters or return values, but the great thing about this is that we can even use it to condense functions within functions. So let me delete all of this. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to create a different type of addition function. So let's define a addition function, right? And let's just provide our first number, all right? Now, our first number is going to be added to our second number. So let's return a lambda, and let's provide our second number as our argument. We don't need to provide the first number. Just hold on 1 second. I'll explain in 1 second. It'll just be num plus second, okay? So now this may seem a little confusing. Just be like, Raheel, why didn't you provide num as the argument here? Well, one thing is that we've already provided number as the argument. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to return a function, right? Because lambda expressions are just functions, right? They're just anonymous. So we're going to return a function, and that function will allow you to actually call it, right? Like we normally call functions. This is a function call right here, okay? So now let's return, let's assign our addition value. What is it? Let's just call it add1, as an arbitrary variable name, and we'll assign it to addition, and what's our first number we want to provide? 1, okay? And now let's just print add 1, and then let's just do 2. So now you'll see that we actually get the number 3 here. Now, what exactly happened, okay? A good way to read it is this. Essentially, what we're doing is we are returning the function, like I was saying, right? And now we are assigning that anonymous function to add1. So basically, this is very similar. I'll show you right here. This is basically very similar to how we would do it here. If you wanted to do add1 is equal to lambda of second, and then num we know is 1 because we've defined it right here, plus second, right? That's exactly what we've done right here, because basically the return value of this function is this right here. Num is now 1. And then basically we already know the syntax, right? We just call it like we normally do. So that's essentially how Lambda functions can work. Of course, I'm getting all these errors here because my language server protocol on here is kind of being weird, but you probably shouldn't get any errors on your end, right? And if any of this is confusing, again, feel free to leave a comment down below. For those who do want to learn a bit more about Lambda functions or Lambda expressions, then I would navigate to the Real Python website, where they cover lots about Lambda expressions and even potential performance benefits in going deep into bytecode. Otherwise, I think that's the end of this tutorial. If you did enjoy, feel free to drop a like down below, while also subscribing, so you can get up to date on all of the new videos that I release. So that's pretty much it. Have a great day.